Good afternoon. We're here with Major Jeffrey Simmer Downie, one of the U.S. Air Force Thunderbirds, joining us for the Great Texas Airshow. How are you doing today,
I'm
sir?
great. How are you?
I'm doing outstanding.
Awesome.
Can't complain. So, right off the bat, we're just going to ask you a few questions about who you are and what you do.
Yeah, sure. So Major Jeff Downie, like you said, my call sign is Simmer. I'm Thunderbird 6 for the United States Air Force Thunderbirds, so very fortunate to get to wear the uniform here for a couple years. And I get to pilot the number 6 aircraft in the demonstration. So for the demonstration itself, we've got 6 aircraft that are all here to demonstrate the pride, the precision, and the professionalism of the United States Air Force. So as a solo pilot on the Thunderbirds, I'm the opposing solo, so I get to demonstrate the raw power of the United States Air Force and these incredible machines, and get to show this incredible crowd this weekend what it is that we do in the Air Force and on the Thunderbirds.
All right. So, going back to your history, how you got here, where did you commission in, and what was your journey? What did your journey look like to get here to the Thunderbirds?
Yeah, sure. You know, this is one it's fun to always connect the person watching this, little kid on the screen, of how do you go from there to here. So out of high school, I went to the Air Force Academy and I commissioned with a pilot training slot. So I went through pilot training, and I was fortunate enough to drop an F-16 out of pilot training. So I went through the basic course at Holloman Air Force Base in New Mexico, and then I followed that up with an assignment at Shaw Air Force Base, and then Korea. I went to Kunsan Air Base in South Korea, and then finally I finished it up with a tour right here, actually, at the 12th Fighter Training Wing, getting to fly with the IFF Squadron, the 435th, the Deadly Black Eagles. And then I was fortunate enough to get picked up for the team. So that's my journey so far.
Awesome. So you were right here. How does it feel to be back in Texas? You know, are you going to be visiting anyone?
Oh, it's great. Yeah, of course. You know, the cadre here are just incredible. You know, the stuff that this base does and the air power that they generate for the United States Air Force is unreal. You know, we've got them training the newest generation of pit instructors, pilot instructor training instructors, as well as the newest fighter pilots that are going to introduction to fighter fundamentals and their newest steps into the Air Force. So it's just really incredible to be here, you know, and outside of that and just the base and what they do, it's also Military City, USA, right? And this town is just incredible. The relationships that they have with the people here. So this is a really fun place for us to come, for a place that is so pro-military, but just to get to further the ideals of America and this great nation.
So you mentioned a few roles kind of behind the scenes. A lot of people see Thunderbirds, they think the pilots. What other roles are there kind of behind the scenes that make it all run?
Yeah, that's an incredible question. You know, our team is 135 personnel strong. We're made up of 28 different Air Force specialty codes or jobs, if you will. So it takes a huge Herculean effort to make this happen, right? So on the road for the trips, we bring about 70. So about half of those personnel we'll bring on the road with us. We bring engines, we bring tools, we bring personnel, bring logistics people, and we make the show happen, right? So yes, there is, you know, the air show going on with the 6 jets and the pilots and that flashiness, but there's an incredible crew behind the scenes. All of our maintainers keeping these jets in tip-top shape. These are the only jets. There's no, you know, hidden jets around the U.S. Like, this is what we got, and they sustain these things. We fly them hard twice a day, usually 6 days a week. And,
wow.
They do an incredible job. Our maintainers, they're top-notch.
So the theme for this air show is service in action, and you kind of touched on that. How do you think the Thunderbirds as a whole kind of exemplify that?
You know, we take pride in that almost unbelievable attention to detail and getting to showcase that. That's the same thing that they're doing here in this base, and that service in action and really devoting yourself to something greater than yourself is really the crux of it all, and that service and that pride. So we're the fortunate ones to get to display that for the rest of Military City this weekend, but also just to honor all the people here that are working their tails off and really furthering the United States Air Force.
And then you talked about attention to detail. What is it like when you're up in the air, especially with some of these maneuvers you guys are doing? What is that like?
Yeah, it's exhilarating to get to do it. It's scary at times. You know, the diamonds, sometimes they're flying 18 inches apart.
Wow.
Oftentimes we've got wing overlap of up to 10 feet. So you can't miss. And it's exhilarating. It'll humble you really, really quickly. But you know, that's why we practice so much, so that we can put on these safe demonstrations for the air show communities.
And then last question.
Sure.
What are you most excited for the people of San Antonio, the people who are coming out? What are you most excited for them to see?
Oh, the sneak pass.
Oh, yeah?
Okay, just the, you know, I think, you know, the easy answer is the demonstration and seeing that, but for the crowd and the kids coming out this weekend, for them to get to see people doing it, right? That's where you connect with the kid, and that they say, hey, I can do that, right? Because they see that person, they see somebody climbing out of the cockpit, and they're like, hey, those aren't just automated flying machines. This thing is whole hand flown. So really for them, just to get to see and interact with all the incredible acts that are coming out here, to put a face to the airplane that's flying in the sky, and to think, hey, maybe I can do that someday.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today,
Thanks,
sir.
Logan. Appreciate you, man.
All right.
See you guys this weekend. Woo!